water? Water?
Please.
Now this one should be fine.
Alright, we'll go ahead and stand with him while we get the water for him. Thank you.
Here you go, bud.
Thank you.
Is that a Hitman tattoo?
Yeah, the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when that I got Gotham City on my wrist, the Batman Superman.
Oh yeah,
I
right.
got the Riddler question marks, the Joker's eyes. Just
Like nobody recognizes a Hitman.
right. They weren't that tight. They were. Oh, you're taking them off.
Yeah, I'm taking them off.
Okay.
Let's get comfortable, okay?
Okay.
Alright. Cool. Good to go?
Yep.
Alright, thank you.
Just shoot, you know what? I'll be right back.
Alright.
You know what?
Yeah, I figured. Alright. Jacob, you can read, correct?
I can.
Okay. Alright, well, I want you to read along. Before we get started, you asked for this interview, correct?
I did.
Okay. Read along with this.
Yes, sir.
Initial yes or no. Alright, I'm gonna read along with you, okay?
Uh-huh.
Do you understand that before we ask you any questions, it's my duty to advise you of your rights?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Do you understand that anything you say can be used against you in court or any other proceedings?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to consult an attorney before making any statement or answering any questions you may have him present with you during questioning? If you cannot afford an attorney, the court will appoint you one.
Yes.
Do you understand that if you decide to answer questions without an attorney, you still have the right to stop the questioning at any time for the purpose of consulting an attorney?
Yes.
Do you understand that you may, however, waive the right to remain silent, and you may answer questions or make statements without consulting an attorney if you so desire?
Yes.
Then you sign at the bottom. And it's May 24th at 8 a.m.
24.
Okay. One more time to be clear, I was heading back to serve you your charges.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to talk to you. You
Okay.
want to talk to me?
I do.
Okay. So go ahead and, what do you want to talk about?
I did.
Go ahead, take a deep breath. We got plenty of time. Just relax, it's okay. This is the first we've met,
Yes.
okay?
I didn't lie about how I got the cards. I was paid by my boss, Ryan, to see what they were worth.
Who's Ryan? Last name?
Doak. He
Okay.
he was my manager at Best Western.
Okay. Make sure you speak up.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we're,
Yes. After I took them, I stopped at my brother's shop to see what they were, because I had no idea what they were. When he told me what they could be worth, but they could also possibly be fake, I panicked and I stopped at my dad's old friend, somebody that I grew up with, you know. I stopped there to ask him what I should do, because I was in a panic. I didn't know what to do, and that's when me and him discussed, like we talked about it.
Who's me and him?
Me and Jason, my dad's friend.
What's Jason's last name?
Bowling.
Okay.
I talked to him, and that's when he grabbed the cards, and I told him, I said, I need to return these, but I don't want them to think that I took them from the hotel, because I didn't. I was paid that $200 by Ryan to see what they were worth. So when I said that, he looked at them and he grabbed them. He said, "You talk, it'll be the last thing you do." And then he looked at me and he said, "You know those pretty blue eyes?" And I said, all I did was shake my head. He said, "No more." And the only one that's got pretty blue eyes is my son. And yes, I didn't take them from that hotel. I swear on everything I didn't. I did take them from my boss.
Okay.
I didn't try to sell them. I panicked after my brother told me what they were worth, and I went to Jason's house. That's when he took them from me and told me if I talked, it'll be the last thing I do. And then he threatened my son, and I got scared. They're dangerous people. I didn't know what to do. If I have no way to protect my son, you know, that little boy is all I have. Like, that is my everything. I'm not made for this. I didn't.
Take a deep breath. You're fine.
I'm not a thief. Yes, I got charged with stealing the sandwich from Sheets. I was hungry. That was it.
Okay.
That was all that I've ever done. I don't have a background other than that sandwich.
Right.
I'm not a bad person.
Uh-huh.
And that's why I was so scared, because I knew once Ryan had told me that they were his and his husband's, that they had been collecting for a long time. He didn't want his husband to know he was trying to get rid of them. That's why he had asked me to do it. So I did it, and when I found out what they were worth, I knew that those weren't Ryan's. And that's when I went to Jason and asked Jason what I should do. And that's when he took the cards from me and told me that if I talked, it would be the last thing I do.
What did you think that meant? That's a very vague statement. The last thing you do.
That he would harm me and my kid. He said it would be the last thing I do. And then he looked at me and he said, "You know those pretty blue eyes?" I said, "Yes." He said, "No more." And he turned around and he walked away from me. That's why I was scared to say anything. Promise me my son is gonna be okay. Like, I don't want nothing. I told you his name. I don't want nothing to happen to my son.
Right. Look, this is an investigation. We keep everything secret.
I don't.
Right. So I don't even know how he would have access to your son. I can't make a promise that I can't keep. Okay. But I have no indication that your son would be in any kind of trouble.
He knows where my dad lives. He knows He knows.
So where's your son at currently?
With my dad.
He's with your dad? I thought he was with your girlfriend.
No, he's with me. He stayed with my dad at my dad's house when they arrested me.
Okay.
My dad kept him just so he would be safe. And,
right.
You know, there's somebody always there to take care of him. Right. But no, I needed to tell you guys the truth, because I didn't steal those cards.
So, let me give you a copy of charges here, okay?
Yes, sir.
You're being charged with theft.
Okay.
You know why you're here, but this spells it out formally, okay? Go ahead and read that over real quick and tell me if there's something that you don't understand. This page is the charge, this page is just saying that you're being arrested for it, okay? So you're gonna get to keep that copy when we walk out of here, okay? Serious charge, okay?
I know, and that's why I needed to come tell you guys.
Right.
I know I was scared in the beginning. I was very scared. I know them people. I know how dangerous they are.
Mhm.
I didn't want anything to happen to my son.
Why wouldn't you just take the cards right back to Ryan?
I didn't know what to do.
They were his cards, why wouldn't you just take them back to him?
I was once my brother had told me, where they were from, and my brother had looked them up. I panicked. I knew what Ryan had did, and now I had them. I was scared. I didn't know what to do.
How'd you know what Ryan had done? Why would you know that?
My brother had looked it up. He said they were.
Right. Okay, I get all that. But look, he gave you the cards. He
Yes.
said they were his.
Yes.
You took them.
Yes.
When you found out something didn't seem right to you, why didn't you just return them to Ryan? Why didn't you come to the police?
I didn't.
Why do you go to this Jason guy?
I stopped to ask for advice. That's all I did. I stopped to ask. I stopped to ask him what I should do. I told him exactly.
Why not ask your father for advice? Or your mother, or your girlfriend, or anybody else close in your life? Why this guy?
He's helped me with court stuff before, like with my misdemeanor. Like he's the one that helped me with my court. That was the only reason I had asked, because he knows a lot about this stuff. That's the only reason I had stopped to ask. I had every intention to take him back to Ryan, and then Jason took them from me.
Okay.
And that's when he had threatened me and told me that it would be the last thing I do. And then that's when he told me, those pretty blue eyes? He said, no more.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me a grin and walked away.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. That was what he said to me. I was worried then. I had even stopped at his job a couple times to ask him to give me the cards back.
Uh-huh.
More than once. He works at the Shoreham on Lake Road.
Right. So you asked him for the cards back, and you're saying that's because you wanted to return to Ryan.
I wanted, after I found out that they were stolen, and
Uh-huh.
after detectives called me, I had asked Jason for the cards back, and he said it was too late for that.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, they're gonna charge me with that if I don't return them.
Uh-huh.
And that's, I had talked to Detective Glover, I believe it is.
Uh-huh.
And that's when I had even showed up at Jason's work unannounced,
Right.
and asked him for the cards back.
Mhm.
Like I told him, and like that's when he told me, like,
What's this business like?
what's that?
What's this business like? I've never been there.
The Shoreham?
Yeah, what's the building like?
It's a apartment complex.
Okay.
But
So where did you meet him at that complex? What did he do there?
He maintenance. I met him outside, right at his truck. My woman could vouch for that. Like she knows we stopped there. She don't know that I asked him for the cards, but we had stopped there.
Okay. On what dates did you stop there? And what were you driving when you went there?
My Kia.
You're driving your Kia.
Yes.
So your Kia would be on any kind of video camera.
Yes.
Okay, so you drove your Kia.
Yes.
You were a Kia.
Um.
Girlfriend was with you.
Yes.
Okay. She watched you meet with Jason.
Yes.
So this is outside in the open.
Yeah, we were. He was painting curbs.
Okay.
And we had talked while he was doing that.
Okay. What dates were this?
Fuck.
Let's start with how many times. That's an easy. Honest.
Twice.
Two times.
Twice. I had stopped there and asked him for the cards back. Twice.
Next week it won't be 3 times.
No.
2 weeks from now it won't be 1 time.
No. Twice. It was
You
twice.
won't be mistaken on the location.
No. It was at the Shoreham on, I believe it's Edgewater or Lake.
Okay, at least 2 times. You don't remember the exact date. That's fine.
It was midday. I'd say between 11 and 2.
Okay. All right.
What else could I tell you? He was painting curbs outside of his building.
Mm-hmm.
I had done a couple Ubers that delivered over there.
Mhm.
That's why I had stopped over there to ask him. Like,
Mhm.
I had talked to Detective Glover, and then I had stopped there after my Uber to ask Jason for them back, and I was told that it was too late for that. And I started to panic then, and he pretty much turned around and walked away from me. I stood there for a second, and I walked back to my car. But no, it was only, I stopped there twice and asked him for those cards back so I could bring them back. I had every intention of returning them to Ryan. I swear on everything, and then Jason took them from me. I didn't.
Okay, so you go to meet with Jason a couple times.
Yes, sir.
To get the cards back. So, how about communication with Ryan? What's going on with that?
I had messaged Ryan a couple times on Crew on our app for our work. I told him that I wouldn't be able to make it in to work the next day. I really did. I was really messed up. But I texted him that, and that's when he texted me back on the Crew app and told me that it would just be better if I parted ways with Best Western. And that I had already put in my 2 weeks. I told him I still had a week left of my 2 weeks. But he never asked me about the cards after that. After detective showed up after Jason took them, and I text Ryan like, hey, look, I'm not gonna make it in tomorrow. I'm not feeling the greatest. Son's sick, got a horrible cold. Ryan texted me back and told me it would be better if I parted ways, it would be better if I parted ways with Best Western.
So let's lock down this timeline.
Yes.
And if I say anything that's not true,
Yes.
correct me.
Okay.
I'm not gonna put any words in your mouth.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So the cards get stolen
Okay.
from your work, obviously.
Okay.
Right?
I didn't know that. But
Right.
yeah,
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
I get it. I understand. Look, I know you don't tell the truth a lot. I get it. I get you resort to, because you're sitting here with that charge because you've not been truthful for a while. Okay. Wait, that's okay.
Okay.
I let you speak. Let me just say.
Yes.
Okay. So, I understand how you like the word salad. You like to pick out words, and if they're not specifically exact to what had happened, you say no. So I get that. It's how you kind of stay where you feel you're being truthful. We don't color in that. Okay. So all we want is the truth, as best you know it. Okay.
Yes.
And if I'm not using the exact specific word, you're a smart guy.
Okay.
You know what I'm driving at.
Okay.
So let's just forget the whole. Okay. You didn't take the cards, they were given to you. I get it, it doesn't matter, you're in possession of them.
Okay.
Receiving stolen property, whether it's a theft or receiving stolen property, it's a felony charge. They're just as bad.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So let's get around the semantics
Okay.
of all that, okay?
Yes, sir.
You're not sitting here wearing that with us off this picking apart words, okay?
Okay.
So let's just have the whole truth, right? Okay? I think you've been pretty truthful with me so far, because I'm letting you tell a story. I know where you're not telling me the truth. I know where you are telling me the truth. And right now I feel like I'm getting 80% truth from you, okay?
Yes, sir.
So that's why I'm letting you keep talking.
Okay.
All right? As soon as I start feeling that 80 drops to 20, we're done.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
So that's fine. I know where the truth is and where it's not.
Okay.
And I know where there's some play. Like maybe something could be what you're saying. So let's just work through a little bit of a timeline. Okay? You're working at the Best Western.
Correct.
All right. When were you first approached to take these cards?
I relieved Ryan. I believe it was a Wednesday night.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what day it is.
So you're his relief.
Yes.
Okay.
I relieved Ryan. I was night audit.
Mhm.
I had went to close the pool, and he had come to where I was closing the pool, and that's when he had talked to me about it. And I told him, yeah, I needed to.
Now let's get specific. He
Okay.
talked to you about it.
Yes.
What was the conversation?
He told me that he couldn't say anything in front of the cameras because his husband TJ watches the cameras. He has access to the cameras. He didn't want his husband to know that he was getting rid of the cards. I said, okay. I said, well, what am I supposed to do with them? He said, can you just take them to see what they're worth? And that's when I told him, I said, I gotta work, I have things to do, I have money I have to make. He said, I'll pay you. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever, it is what it is. I need the money. I needed diapers, wipes, and stuff.
So this conversation's happening beside the pool?
Yeah.
In the building?
Yeah, right. Like, if you walk down the hallway and you're going to the pool, you gotta go through a door. It was right there in that hallway.
Okay.
So that's when he told me that his husband watches the cameras, and he didn't want his husband to hear that, he was trying to get rid of the cards.
Okay.
So I told him, I said I had to be at work to make money, and that's when he told me he'd pay me.
Okay.
So I told him, I said, screw it,
All
cool,
right.
I'll take it. I was, you know, I took the money from him.
Okay, so you took the money right there in the hallway?
Yeah, he handed me the 100 and 250s.
Okay,
Um,
so 100 and 250s.
Yep.
Okay, I like that. 250s.
yes, sir.
And then, when did you get the cards? Where did those come from?
The next morning when he come in, he told me that they were in his car. When I left, I stopped at his car. He said it was unlocked. I grabbed the cards from his car. I put them in my car, and I left.
So you took the cards from his car
Yes,
and put them in yours
yes,
on his instructions.
yes.
Did he give you the key to the car, or was it already
He
unlocked?
said it was unlocked.
And what's his car?
It's a blue Kia, newer Kia. I forget exactly what it is,
Okay.
but it's a SUV, blue SUV.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I
Anything odd about it? Anything?
no, I opened his car door. There was nothing out of the ordinary. The boxes were
Anything
sitting
else inside the car?
No, the two boxes were on his front seat. He had a jacket kind of on the
Describe
side
the
of him.
boxes to me. What do these boxes look like?
They were rectangular black boxes. Had some writing on them. I don't remember exactly what they were.
Okay.
What was written on them, but they were rectangular black boxes. I grabbed the two boxes and I headed to my brother's shop.
Okay.
And that's when I had
Directly to his shop from
Yeah.
there in the morning?
Yeah, no. I stopped to get gas.
Okay.
Grabbed a pack of cigarettes at Shell right there.
Gas at the Shell?
Yep.
Okay. And what time in the morning would that have been?
That was at 7.
And that's the one right there by the...
Yeah, right in front of the hotel.
Okay.
I stopped there.
Did you go inside for anything, or did you just get gas?
No, I went in there. I grabbed a pack of cigarettes.
Okay.
I come out. I stopped at what restaurant was it? Chick-fil-A. I grabbed myself breakfast.
Strongsville Chick-fil-A?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I grabbed myself breakfast and I headed to my brother's shop.
Mhm.
He wasn't open that early.
Mhm.
I headed back to my house
Okay.
out in Brunswick.
You got a lot of places you live, so where's your house specifically?
Brunswick, where I live with Gene.
The place where you stand in the basement kind of thing?
Yeah, that place.
Okay. All right.
I headed back to Gene's. I took a nap for a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
I got up. I went to my brother's shop.
By yourself?
No, my son was with me.
Okay.
I went to his shop. Stopped at his shop. I took the cards in. He told me exactly what they were. What they were worth, and he said they could be fake because nobody really has cards like this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I panicked. I didn't know where Ryan had got them from. I didn't know anything about them being stolen from Best Western. I stopped as I was leaving, I stopped at Jason's to talk to him to see what I should do. I had these cards, and as we were talking, I was telling him my boss gave me these. Now it looks bad on me. And he was like, well, if you talk no more, as he's grabbing I didn't give him permission to take these cards. As he's grabbing these cards out of my car, he's looking at me saying this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you talk, that'll be the last thing you do.
All right, let's rewind. Okay. So this is where your story just kind of doesn't make sense. to
Okay.
me, Okay.
Yes, sir.
He tells you that he collected baseball cards with his husband, and he was going to be mad that he was telling them. Okay, that's your story. That's what you have. Once you take them to your brother's shop and he tells you you're valuable, or they're or they're fake, whatever. He doesn't tell you they're stolen. He
No,
tells you.
he did tell me they could be stolen.
Okay, all right.
He had looked up something on the
But,
card.
but let's listen to this. You have three options at that point.
Okay.
Okay, you believe your boss's story. He's your boss.
My manager.
Okay, your manager.
Yeah.
You believe his story, okay, or you don't, okay, or you believe they're fakes. Either way, they're still his cards,
Right.
okay, or they could be stolen. If you think they're stolen, you call the police. You didn't do that. Wait, let me finish.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
you didn't do
Yes, sir.
that. That's your bad right there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, or you return them to who you think is the owner. You've done your chore. You've taken them. He's asked you to do exactly what you were supposed to do. You went and you found out, hey man, sorry, thanks for the $200, I took them. These are either good on you, you don't want to sell these because your husband has a hell of a baseball card collection here.
Right.
Or you're going to break his heart because they're probably fake. Or they're stolen and I don't want to have any part of that. Okay? But since two of the three options could be maybe plausible, here's your cards back, I'm done, thank you for $200. You're done with this. You don't do that. You go to somebody you know your whole life as a known criminal, not a good dude, for advice on where to move next? That doesn't make no sense to me. That's
Okay.
okay. That's where you're starting to look like a criminal. Okay. You look like a guy. You look like a criminal going to another criminal for help with your criminal crap.
Okay.
Okay. That's what you look like.
Okay.
Okay. So help undo it.
Okay.
If that's the truth, if what I'm telling you is the truth, that's fine. That's the truth of it. We can believe that. If you're gonna say no, that's not the truth, I'm telling you the truth, fine, we'll take that part of it. But if the truth is that that's what your intent was, to have your buddy help you somehow, some way in the criminal end of it, then just be honest about it, because we're gonna look into that end of it. Okay,
Yes,
we're
sir.
gonna look into these things. But if he says no, he came to me and he wanted, and you're lying about that, that looks bad on you. The only way your word matters is if it's 100% truthful. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because people, once you're painted a liar, you're a liar.
I know.
How are you going to go to court and try to convince a judge and a jury that you're telling the truth when we're going to present even a lie? You know what I'm saying? So why did you take him to Jason?
So my brother's shop sits right there at Pearl and State.
Mm-hmm.
Jason lives 2 streets away.
Right.
After I left, I was in a panic because of what my brother had told me. He had looked up something on the car.
Mm-hmm.
He said they very well could be stolen, and that's when he told me, like, if they're stolen, you know, you're gonna get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to upset my dad with everything that his, you know, hard problem. I didn't want to upset my dad. That's why I didn't go to him. I stopped at Jason's just to see what I should do. Like, I didn't know, like, do I take him back to Ryan, or is, you know, and then when I stopped at Jason's and Jason took them from me, I was in more of a panic to even tell Ryan. And that's when Ryan texted me. Like, I text Ryan that night, and that's when he texted me back and told me it'd be best if I parted ways.
So what exactly did you text Ryan? What were your words?
I text Ryan. I said, I think it's best if I take off tomorrow. I'm not feeling good, and Junior's sick. You know, that was all that I texted him. He texted me back. He said, I think it's best if you just part ways with Best Western. And that's when I said I put in my 2 weeks. I'm not done yet. I said, we're just both sick. I was in a panic. I didn't want to go back to work. He never said anything about the cards in those text messages on our crew app that we communicate through.
Any meetings, any conversation about the cards after that, after you're terminated?
I wasn't able to see Ryan, but I talked to John, and John said that Ryan had pointed fingers at me. And I told John, I said, that's not right. I said, I didn't take those cards. I did Ryan a favor. And John told me word for word, he said, you're talking to the wrong person.
Okay, so who's John?
John Gessner is the GM at Best Western.
So you tell him you didn't take the cards, and you tell him it's Ryan.
Yes, I went in there, I talked to him, I said, why are detectives questioning me about something I didn't take? And he was like, they come in here with a subpoena for contact information, we gave it out, blah, 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 you know, telling me what happened. I said, I didn't take those cards, you know, I told John I didn't take those cards. He told me word for word, he put his hand up, he said, talking to the wrong people. And I stood there for a second, he looked back down at his paper, and he kept doing what he was doing, and I walked away. That was the conversation with John. And then when that was the following day, that was the day I took off. I had gotten phone calls from detectives that the day that I took off.
Right.
But I texted Ryan that night and told him, that's when me and him had that conversation.
So through the work app?
Yeah, through the work app.
But in this work app, and when you texted the messages, and what's this work app called again?
Crew.
Is that supported through Best Western?
No, that was a Ryan thing.
It was a Ryan thing?
Yes.
Okay, good to know. So Ryan, creates a group chat?
It was for, like...
What's the app that runs it?
It's called Crew.
It's called Crew?
Yeah, it's called Crew.
And Ryan set it up?
Yes.
Okay. And you have that Crew on your phone right now?
Yes, I do. I don't know if if I was like, if Ryan took me out of access after I was done, but yes, that crew app is on my
How long were you in this crew app for?
The entire time I worked there.
Which was how long?
3 months, I believe.
3 months.
Yes.
Who's all in this? Is it a joint sharing? Does everybody get to see the messages, or are they private?
It's private, but like all of us are on there. So like, it's, let's say me and you were on there, I could message you, and then separately I could message Ryan.
Okay.
But if Ryan wanted to, he can message us all, you know.
So what were the specific messages? Did you say, hey man, I tried to get rid of your card? Did you any mention the cards in these messages? No.
No mentions, nothing. And that's when I had texted him that I wasn't feeling well, you know, and I wasn't gonna.
Why wouldn't you just text him and say, hey man, I don't like the feeling I'm getting off these cards. I got some bad feelings on this. I want to give them right back to you. Why wouldn't you do that?
They were taken from me already.
All right.
I didn't have that option to return them.
Okay.
I didn't, like, and that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Why wouldn't you just tell Ryan, hey man, you gotta talk to this dude. He took them from you.
He don't know him. Like, he knows nothing about him.
But you could have told him.
I could have. And then when Jason told me that, I was scared for mine and my son's life. I know how bad those people are. I know what they've done in the past.
What have they done in the past that's so bad?
The selling drugs out of there, the always getting in fights and shooting at people. I know how they are.
Okay.
I know what goes on over there, and that's why I was scared to say anything.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure my son was safe,
Okay.
and I thought the only way that I could do that was to.
Right. This detective, you know. Okay, do one more question?
Yeah.
So, obviously, this is not the first time something's been stolen out of this Best Western, okay? And you're saying Ryan is the one you're implicating. Is he stolen from there before, that you know of?
Not from Best Western, but I know from a previous property that he has. And that's like, at Best Western, I know of nothing being stolen by Ryan. At a previous property that I lived at, that he worked at, I know of.
How about any other thieves at Best Western?
We had one, Robert.
Robert?
Yes.
He still works there?
No, he was fired a while ago.
Okay.
But yeah, yes.
Nobody else that would be implicated with Ryan?
No, not that I know of. No.
Okay. All right.
We've talked before.
Yes, sir.
Is this your story?
This is the truth.
That's not. Let's stop right there. Is this your story? It's a yes or no.
Yes.
Stop. Are you willing to take a lie detector test on this story?
Yes.
That you call the truth?
Yes.
We set you up with a lie detector test now. You're taking it.
Yes.
That's number one. Number two, you said there were text messages on your phone. We have seized your phone.
Yes.
We are going to take a search warrant to a judge today to ask him to sign it.
Okay.
And if the judge grants us this search warrant, we are going to look through your phone.
Okay.
I'm sure you wouldn't want to spend the holiday in jail,
Correct.
right? Memorial Day, it's going to be a long weekend. But your phone has a 4-digit password.
I will give it to you.
Okay, so would you give us consent to search your phone?
Yes.
Okay, so if I go right now, get a consent form, I don't want you to think you're being coerced. You don't have to. We have enough probable cause to take this to a judge and put it on the judge's desk and see what the judge says. But we would like to expedite this, okay? Did you see the picture? Did you show him the picture?
I'll work into that.
You should show him the picture while I get a consent form.
Right.
Check this picture out real quick.
Okay. So, a lot has happened. But, we recovered all the cards.
Okay.
We have them.
Okay.
Oh, with one little thing, we're missing 2 of them.
Okay.
Where are those 2 cards?
I didn't keep any of them. I swear on everything, I didn't.
Do you understand how that would help you if you?
Yes, if I knew 100%, I would tell you. I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't keep that.
Don't panic. Did you see any of us yelling at you?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just.
Take a deep
I'm,
breath.
I'm
Drink
not,
some water.
I'm not built
Drink
for
some
this.
water.
It's
No,
my
it's
first
fine.
time ever in trouble.
We know.
I
We know,
didn't.
man.
I didn't.
Bro, drink some water. Take a deep breath. Relax. Can I have a pen? First of all, you remember these Miranda rights, right?
I do.
With this in mind, are you willing to let us?
I have nothing to hide.
Okay, at this point, you've got nothing to hide, right? Your full name, please? I need you to read this out loud.
Can you give me just
Take as
one
much
minute?
time. Breathe, relax.
Slow key. What's
Right. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Okay? You have to understand, now you're implicating Ryan. Ryan, you know Ryan's history.
Yes.
Which is why you told me before you didn't feel comfortable keeping your kid around Ryan.
Correct.
Okay. So now,
I
now we're gonna bring Ryan into the picture. To take, right now, all the weight is on Jacob's shoulders.
Yes.
And some of that weight to come off Jacob's shoulders is gonna have to be shared with somebody else. If there's evidence on your phone, at this point, help yourself. Our case against you is airtight, my friend.
Okay.
Airtight. We have statements and video surveillance and everything. So,
I know, and that's
Help yourself.
that's why I knew I fucked up
It's
by
okay.
taking those from Ryan. I knew I did.
Okay.
But I didn't say anything because I and even saying it, I'm worried. I don't want anything to happen to my son.
Nothing's gonna happen to your son.
I don't. These people
They
are
don't know
dangerous
what-
people.
They're not.
They-
We have interviewed Mike Caniglia, we brought him in, and Jason, and, relax, okay, relax.
They are bad people though. They know where my son is at.
There's a difference between bad and dangerous. There's a difference between bad and dangerous. Bad, they are. Dangerous, they're not. Take a couple of breaths, and then I need you to read this out loud to make sure that you understand. I don't want you to just sign without understanding.
And you do know that the thing that keeps your son the safest is you being 100% truthful.
And that's why
You keep us running in any little circle, wasting time, searching for stuff, that's on you. You're the father. It's your job. So be honest. I like where you've been so far this morning.
I didn't keep none of those cards on
Okay.
everything.
I got
Okay.
you. We believe you.
I believe you.
Okay.
Take a
Take a breath. Take some water.
Drink water. Relax. Did you eat this morning? Did they feed you yet? All right, we'll get you back and get some breakfast.
Understand that I have a constitutional right not to have a search made of the property, residence, or vehicle described. Can I get a tissue?
Hey Zach, you bring us some tissues?
Yeah.
Search the property, residence, I hereby authorize officers. I don't. Am I just signing and?
So yeah, go ahead and sign there. That's fine. And then you're gonna see what we're gonna fill in for the rest of it. And if you don't agree with that, then you're gonna rescind your signature, okay? Today's date still is,
You're gonna put Strongsville Detectives. 24th. Okay, and then here, you're gonna check this box that says property, put your cell phone, what do you have, an iPhone and iPhone, whatever.
Right here in the
Yeah,
description.
sure. And then, put your phone number and your passcode.
Off the top of my head, I don't know the last four.
Okay.
I mean, you guys
We
it
have
on
it,
your phone.
put your passcode.
It's my son's birthday.
Okay. And then today's date is
24.
5/24. We can get you your breakfast, relax, drink some water. Like I said, right now, from here on out, you're just helping yourself.
You know,
Okay.
And that's why I come down to talk to you guys.
And that's all it is. Right
did-
now, you're just helping yourself. Alright, let's see, relax.
Is there a passcode for the crew app? Once he gets in, is he gonna need a passcode to access?
No,
the crew app?
he shouldn't. He should be able just to get into it.
Okay. You want him to go get for his breakfast now,
We're
or?
gonna bring his breakfast here.
Okay.
Can I wait a little bit? I'm a little nauseous.
Okay.
Well, he doesn't want the breakfast yet.
Okay,
Okay,
we'll bring it
That's
and
fine.
you can see.
that's fine. I tell you what, it's the line that sends us in all these circles and directions, you know.
I know.
We've been working this case ever since those cars went missing. So you know that we've been tracking the car, you know, we know where you've
Yes,
been, we
yes.
know, it's no weird coincidence that we come to get the baseball cards back, okay, cause we've been on it. People expect fast results, but no, we lay around and we're working in the background. Well, you're all going about your lives, okay, so, but we've given you multiple opportunities to do what you're doing now, okay? And based on that history, you haven't earned the most trust with us,
I
right?
understand.
So we have to verify what you're saying to be true, you know what I'm saying? So you're not gonna come off any of this today, okay? It'll be like a continuing cooperation type deal.
Will I still have court today?
And you're still gonna have court today,
Okay.
alright? And then it'll be
well-
that whole process of whether you get bond or not, or I'm sure you'll get bond, how high the bond's gonna be, okay? It doesn't help, so that these cards are missing, so can you help me understand where would they be?
After my
You do know, I said, I don't care that you exactly know, do you have any idea, like, can you speculate, you know, you're a creative guy, where would they be if they're not where they should be? They should be in those two boxes you described.
Correct.
They're not, so where would they be?
after Jason had taken them, like
Mhm.
my brother put the cards back in the box
Mm-hmm,
and pretty much told me he couldn't do anything with them.
mm-hmm,
And I went from his shop straight to Jason's.
mm-hmm.
Jason took those boxes out of my car and took them into his house. I didn't even open them from my brother's shop to Jason's house. I didn't even touch them. Like I didn't even pull the boxes out. I just showed Jason the boxes.
So
I
you-
said I don't know what to do.
So your speculation is that Jason has these two cards?
I would have to be because I didn't keep anything out of that.
Okay.
I was so nervous and so scared. I drove 2 streets up just to try to talk to somebody I know to calm down.
Uh-huh.
And
Who's
that's
that somebody?
Jason. That was Jason.
Okay.
And like I was hyperventilating in the car. Like I was scared.
Uh-huh.
You know, after my brother had told me
Right.
everything, you know, what the cards were. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I drove to Jason's house to take a breather, to get a cigarette from him. You know, I had already smoked a pack that day. Like I was, that's when they were taken from my car, but they were never opened from my brother's shop to Jason's house.
Right, it's not a far drive.
No, it's not a far drive at all. I couldn't even see straight. I shouldn't have even drove. Like I sat in the car next to my brother's shop for a good 10-15 minutes trying to get myself to breathe while Junior was crying in the back seat. Like I
Do you understand how that seems a little like not plausible in this story? Okay, the news you got shouldn't have put you in that big of a panic.
when my
It
brother
that news should have been like, okay, they either are really valuable because the story you got, again, I'm rehashing what I've already said.
Yes.
Okay, the story you got doesn't put that weight on you. It doesn't make sense to throw you into that kind of a panic unless something else in your story is not true.
No.
Or you're omitting some kind of information, like maybe you know, you've been taking and selling stolen items from the hotel for a long time, and now this one's too big, or what's going on? But I just don't understand. That doesn't translate to me. But okay, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense.
what freaked me out, the last thing my brother said to me is, if they're real, he said they're most likely stolen because they were supposed to be at auction. Whatever he had looked up, he told me they were auction cards.
Okay.
That's when I panicked. That's when I grabbed the boxes, and I had every intention of taking them back to Ryan. I made one stop just to try to calm down so I could drive, and that's when Jason had taken them from me. I didn't even open the boxes. I went straight to the car, and straight to Jason's house.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
You're, like Andy said, in that 80% telling the truth, there's some wiggle room. Now, have you ever been to Jason's house?
Yes.
Have you ever seen the surveillance cameras he has?
Yes.
Okay. So are you aware that there's a video of what you're talking about?
Yes. Yes. I'm well aware of that.
Okay. So what you're telling me is, if I review that video, I'm going to see what you're describing.
Yes.
Versus you handing him the boxes.
When we were standing at the back of my car, I was explaining to Jason what had just happened, and that's when Jason had told me to give them to him. And then when I was standing there, he started to reach for the boxes. He grabbed one, I gave the other to him, and
I'm listening, go ahead.
and I had stood there with him.
You don't have to eat it,
Okay.
but it's there, it's an option.
Okay. And that's when he said what he had said to me, and I took that as I took that what he said to me as he was threatening mine and my son's life.
Hold on. All right, that's fine.
Okay.
So I interviewed Jason yesterday.
Okay.
I brought him in here, sat him down for a recorded interview. I asked Jason how he knew you. He told me a story. How long have you known Jason?
All my life.
Okay. And that's what he said.
Yes.
In fact, he alluded to the fact that he was the one to introduce your mom and your dad to each
Yes,
other,
yes,
which
yes.
resulted in your existence.
Yes.
Okay. So, with that said, he told me he's like a father figure to you.
He
Would you consider him
he
that?
kinda is, yes.
Like when you're kind of short on money, he helps you
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
loans you $20-30, whatever you need to kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Every now and then you stay at his house.
No, I don't.
You've never stayed at his house.
I mean, a long time ago I lived at it. Long time ago I lived at his house.
Yeah. He truly seems to love you. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would hope so. I would hope so.
Okay.
I would hope he wouldn't want to harm us, but that's.
Hold on. I don't want you speculating, right? Because speculation is not good. Based on the facts, we have established that Jason is kind of like a proxy father figure for you. Not your dad, but kind of like a father
Yes,
figure
yes.
for you. He has no interest in hurting you or your son.
I didn't know how to take that. I was already in a panic, and when he said that, I didn't know. I didn't know what he meant.
Okay.
I know the things they've done in the past, and that scared me. That scared me even more than I was already scared.
So if you and Jason tell your story to a jury, do you think a jury is going to believe you, or you believe him? What do you think?
I would hope they would believe me. It is the truth. Like I wouldn't. I know you guys have not wanted to talk to me because I beat around the bush, and I wouldn't tell you guys
No,
exactly
you
what
don't get around
happened.
the bush. You
You
lie
lie.
straight up.
You lie.
Let's be real.
It's
Bro,
fine.
you've taken us around. This case you could have made $25,000 and not be in this jumpsuit today. You could
They
have.
were taken from me.
It doesn't matter. You could have said, detectives, I'm gonna tell you what. Ryan took him. I took him to this guy. His name is Jason. Jason has him in his house at this address. I would like my $25,000.
And you would have $25,000 and we would have the cards.
And no criminal charges. We would have the car.
And he would probably be sitting in that orange suit right now.
Instead, you from when Jason, my partner, and I came down to talk to you in Brunswick in the driveway, it's been a lie after a lie after a lie after a lie. Your best friends, your closest people, Chad, Millie, Kayla, your brother, James, Mike Caniglia, they're all pointing the finger at you. So now they put you in a corner. At this point, the only thing you can do, and Best Western, they don't give two fucks. Let's be real, if they gave a fuck, they would have hired a lawyer to defend you. They want nothing to do with you, and they fired Ryan. Ryan's not off the hook. Jason is not off the hook. This is too big of a deal. Did Andy tell you how much those cars are worth?
I've read it.
That's as of yesterday. Read it out loud.
1,800,000.
No. That was yesterday's
We
figure.
got the official value.
Now the red is the official value as of yesterday, my dude. After we brought you in, after we recovered the cards, this company, I want to show you. Can I come next to you?
Yeah,
I don't want you to feel
absolutely.
scared.
No, you.
Alright. The red are the value of those cards. I got you. This number is $2,123,447, my friend. 2.1 million. You know what I'm saying? You see, the thefts are classified by value. This is a felony of the first degree, as you see on your paperwork. At this point, you are so deep in the bullshit. The only thing you can do to help yourself is help us find the two cards, whatever information, that we can go to the prosecutor and say, yes, he did something wrong, yes, he was scared of the police, but he at least helped us recover these two cards that are worth almost $100,000. That is a charge in and of itself. If you get 10 years here, each of these can slap 10 more years on you. So
I didn't.
relax. I know you didn't see them. Help me find them. That's all I'm saying.
Do I have to wear a wire? Do I have to go talk to somebody? I will do anything.
Okay.
I didn't take.
Okay, relax. It's okay. Take a deep breath, my dude. Take a deep breath. Okay? Take a very deep breath. Relax. Okay? I'm not trying to give you a heart attack. I just want you to understand how serious this is.
I didn't.
I know you didn't take them.
I didn't even keep any. I didn't keep any of these.
So let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
When you here's this card, right? Card
Yes.
number 2. This card alone, what's this number?
$26,000.
316.
Yes.
All right, that's this card. Okay. This Lou Gehrig card, you know Lou Gehrig, right? They named a disease after him. He's that big of a deal.
I did a report on him.
Did you really?
Yeah, back in like 5th grade, I did a report on him.
Okay. Well, this one's actually my bad. I was wrong. This is what? How much is this?
$6,226.
Okay, so we have almost 6,000 plus 26,000. Well, okay, maybe not 100,000, but there's still
Still a felony.
still a felony. But so listen, I know you didn't take them. I get that. What we're at, listen to my question.
Yes, sir.
My question is, help me find them. I'm not saying you took them. Hear me out. I'm
Yes, sir.
not accusing you of stealing.
Yes.
I am asking your assistance in finding these two. Where do you think they went? If you were to speculate.
I don't even. The boxes went straight from.
You okay?
How about this? You know he's a bad dude. You said you know all the bad things he's done. So you're familiar with his criminal enterprise. Where would he take these two cards to sell them?
I don't know where he would take them.
Drink some water, man. Drink some water. You're stressing yourself out. You're really stressing yourself out.
I'm worried because I didn't keep any
I
card.
I know you didn't steal these. I'm asking you for your assistance in helping. The police is asking your help right now. That's all we're saying.
And he's got so many places he could take stuff to. I
Who's
don't.
he?
Jason, I don't.
So that's my question. Do you think these 2 cards would be with Ryan or with Jason?
I don't. I have no idea. I never even. I didn't count any of the cards when I took them to my brother, and when I took them to Jason, I didn't count them. I didn't.
How many cards did you take to your brother's shop?
I don't know. I took 2 boxes. They were 2 long rectangle black boxes that I
Okay.
took.
And how did your brother assess him? Did he open the boxes?
Yes,
Did he-
yes. But I was standing right next to him. Everything he took out, he put back and set on his desk and told me.
Okay.
He's like, if these are stolen, you're in big trouble, dude. And that's when I kind of panicked.
Okay.
And that's when I went to my car. I sat there for a minute, trying to breathe, trying to get myself together. And that's Jason's only a couple streets away. That's when I drove there.
Okay, good.
I swear.
I believe you. I believe you, dude. Right now, we're gonna give you a 10-15 minute break. I just need you to get your breathing under control, relax, eat something, just snack on something. I don't want you to pass out from not having eaten.
I'm
Snack on something.
I want to sit here with you. We're not going to ask any questions about this
Right.
case. I'm going to check some things on my phone. You're going to, if you want to eat, don't eat, take some water,
Just relax, whatever you wanna do, just breathe, okay? And then we're gonna do a CVSA. We're gonna specifically ask you about Ryan's involvement,
okay.
okay? That's it.
Okay.
And then we're out of here. And then you go back and we'll appear before a judge and take care of this, okay? Please understand, we, Andy and I and Jason, are putting a lot of faith in you telling us the truth.
Yes.
But as you found out, we might not find the truth right away. It might circle, we might have to do a lot of digging and get to the truth.
Yes, sir.
If you're telling us the truth, it looks good on you. But if you're not telling us the truth, it's just going to look bad when you go before a judge and the judge says, after everything, you still kept, so that's all we're saying. At this point, you're just helping yourself.
Yes, I know, and that's why I'm here.
So breathe, relax, I'll be right back with you. This is a break, nobody's gonna talk to you, okay? Just breathe. And I gave you phone privileges back so you can make phone calls.
Okay.
You know, as soon as you get
I'm
back.
allowed to now?
Yeah,
Okay,
we'll let you
okay.
make some phone calls,
Okay.
whoever you need to call. You're gonna talk to a lawyer this morning,
Okay.
okay, and he's whatever, you know? But once, after you see the judge, we are no longer gonna be allowed to talk to you, okay? So, this is one of those, speak now or forever hold your peace, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And that's why I wanted to talk to you
We
before I went to
appreciate-
court.
Listen, we
I-
appreciate it.
No, and I'm sorry. I really was just
It's
worried.
okay.
I've never
You have
been
a
in
kid,
trouble.
man. You love your kid, right?
That's all I.
That's it.
That kid is all I have.
I got you. Listen, at no point did anybody here yell at you, or hit you, or abuse you, did we?
But I was trying to tell
I know.
I think your boss. He got mad at me, but I really was telling him what I was trying to tell you, what I was telling you guys today.
Forget my boss. He's a boss. But nobody here, we got you food, water, we're telling you, relax, calm down, we're gonna get you through this, okay?
You have any hobbies?
I like to give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
I like to golf. I'm just looking at the weather for golf.
I got you.
That's why I asked.
I'm big into like races, you know, like crash 'em up derbies and
NASCAR?
Sometimes I like I go to I've been to Lorain County Speedway a couple times
Okay.
for the crash 'em up derbies
Right.
and the trailer races.
Okay.
And that's what I like. I haven't been able to go in a while, but it's one of the things that.
It's expensive to get?
And it's not terrible, but you know, if you want to get into the pit and see all the cars, and you know, it's expensive. Then
I don't understand people put money into something just crashing all
crash
up.
'em up.
I see those on the trailer sometime going on the freeway, and I'm like, they look pretty nice, you know, before they mess them up. I would break my heart to put so much time and effort into something just to get it messed up in a pit. But hey, to each their own, right?
Right.
I like golf, and people think that's dumb. So
No, see, golf's peaceful. I can't golf for.
no, I can't golf for crap
shit.
either. I get where you're, but I still like it.
Right,
so.
right. It's
yeah.
peaceful. It's
Right. Right, for sure. That's the best thing. I've been hanging out with buddies, and the weather's good, and trying to figure out golfing with buddies this weekend, and I don't think the weather's going to cooperate. That's what it's not looking good. Oy. I'd love to know what those guys do for a living that they can spend all that money on them cars to just turn around and go do that.
I wish I could. It was a struggle to buy my car I drive, you know.
Right. What jobs have you done in the past?
I used to work on cell phone towers.
Okay.
I didn't climb them,
Uh-huh.
but it like if I could ever get back into it, like
What got you out of it?
I got electrocuted.
Holy cow.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the fiberglass ladder I was standing on, I'd been done.
Holy cow. How'd that happen?
So you gotta. I'm trying to call myself.
No, that's fine. That's why we're not talking about this case. I just want
I know.
to.
You ever seen the little shelters at the bottom of
Right,
cell phone towers?
right.
I worked in those. And
Okay.
Those house all the electronical
Right.
equipment to run the cell phone tower. So I come in, I install all the equipment, program
So
all
you've
the
been trained
equipment.
in electronics and all that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I program all the equipment. FYI, all our telecom is ran overseas.
Oh, okay.
I'd have to call people overseas, you know, give them connection, which is just
We're at overseas.
India and what's the other place? Islamabad. I don't know.
No
So,
shit.
yeah,
They run all our cell phone
I'm
towers.
telling you, they work on all of our
Oh.
telecom.
Okay.
So I was running power lines
Right.
for the equipment. Well, the tower crew, they have backup batteries at the top of the towers for when power goes out or something.
Right.
The cell phone towers still work for DOD,
Uh-huh.
Department of Defense.
Uh-huh.
So when I was running power lines, I shut the site down, which is shut all the electronical equipment off,
Uh-huh.
run my power lines. Well, the tower crew left the backup battery on at the top. And when I touched that, I had the negative. I was already in. I touched that positive, and I took my ratchet to tighten it down. And when I did that, the end of my ratchet touched the wall of what we call a BBU,
Uh-huh.
where it's all the like fuses and stuff
Yeah.
to run the power lines. It touched the wall of that, and it created a current from that backup battery and fucking zapped me off like a cartoon.
Oh, man. Somebody was with you?
I was still in training at that.
Oh, okay.
Kind of training. I was on my own, but I had somebody there to
Right.
watch and shit.
But normally you could be doing that on your own.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
Okay, so
you're
you were lucky
alone.
somebody else was there.
I was lucky, because they don't reach out until like 24 hours after the ticket for the site
Right.
is enclosed. So I
Right.
could have been laying there dead.
Does that pay pretty good?
$25 an hour plus a $100 a day per diem.
Do you get an area, or do you have to travel all over?
All over. Like kind of an area. It was like Ohio. Sometimes they'd send us to Pennsylvania, and then where else was the other place? Where else have I been? Oh, right inside Indiana.
Is that on the job training, or did you have to go to school for that?
No, that was on a job training.
Really?
I met the dude that was doing it,
Uh-huh.
and he was quitting, so he was looking for a replacement. He had to find his own replacement, so he offered it to my dad, but my dad's all messed up, you
Yeah.
know. So my dad's like, I can't do it. And I was like,
So was that like an 80-hour work week? Was that
Oh,
like
oh,
a
yeah.
pretty steady check?
oh
Just
yeah, it
they
was
pay you for the mileage, give you a car, or how'd that work?
rental car, hotel room, and gas card, all complimentary. 365 days a year, no matter if I worked or not. 25, so it was $250 a day,
Uh-huh.
with $100 a day per diem. So it equaled out to like,
So you're making like $350 a day,
yep.
and you could have worked 7 days a week if you wanted to.
They would work me 25 days in a week if
How
they
many?
could.
What's this company's name?
Star Tech.
StarTech. So was there like is that a pretty big company, StarTech?
It used to be called something else, and they got sued for like something what happened to me,
Right.
and they changed the name.
Did you get any like disability or anything off that?
Nope.
No?
Nothing.
How many years ago did that happen?
Last year, no, the year my son was born.
So you get
22.
zapped, you get thrown off the ladder.
Yep.
So what happens then? Like, are you
I
like?
know. I chose not to go back right away. They told me like,
But I mean, did you stand up and like, holy cow, did that just happen?
oh, yeah,
Or were you
like,
like knocked out?
I-
An ambulance comes? How's that work?
I was dazed and confused, but I could remember my boss standing there like, come
Right.
on, you okay?
Right.
I was kind of talking. I could remember seeing him, the ambulance come, and you know, they checked my heart for like 4 days in a row.
Wow.
And
I was the idiot little kid. I mean, I was a little kid. I still remember it though. I was the kid that stuck the knife in the outlet. That knocked me on my butt.
yeah,
Taught me a lesson.
yeah, oh yeah. I'm scared like plugging stuff in. I'll look at my woman like, hey, can you plug this in?
Right, right.
I have PTSD.
So now you're finally getting over it, and you think that's probably the route you go again.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
they'd
yeah.
have you back.
I'm if not, I'm a different company would.
Right.
I know that for sure. You
Right.
know? And that's me and my woman had planned. We were getting our apartment. You
Right.
know,
That's good money.
she got her job back. I was gonna start at the apartment complex too until I could find a company that would take me back, and we were just kind of getting everything
For the
together.
hotel, $350 a day, repairing
Wow.
the boxes at the bottom of cell phone towers.
Okay.
Like
Running all the electric and
the
stuff.
shelter, the big shelters you see at the
Yeah.
bottom of cell phone tower. Yeah.
Somebody did something wrong when he was connecting the line and zapped him, so he hasn't been
Shot
back.
me off like a cartoon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, listen. I'm gonna ask you 3 more questions.
Yes, sir.
But then I want to give you an idea before you talk to your attorney. I want you to mull this through. Okay. First thing I want to know is, did you or the employees know that there was a card convention next door?
I hadn't been told about it. I think Ryan, I forget, somebody had said something like that day. Oh, it was Dwayne. Dwayne, the previous day, he's like,
Yeah.
you know, we're having a card convention here. He said it was at the hotel though.
Okay.
I didn't, okay, we
Alright.
have conventions and shit here all the time, and nothing but a thing.
So
You know?
Wednesday night, you came in for your night duty.
Yes, sir.
Who did you relieve?
Ryan.
Ryan. Who relieved you?
Ryan.
So it was Ryan's shift, Jacob's shift, Ryan's shift.
Yes.
Okay.
He worked 3 to 11. I worked 11 to 7. He worked 7 to 3.
Okay. And then with the Jason thing, with the boxes.
Yes.
What did you tell Jason about how you came across these boxes? Like, how did they become in your custody?
I told him that I was in a panic over the cards.
Yeah, but how did the cards get?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Yeah.
When I told him I was in a panic over the cards,
Mhm.
he said, "Do I want to know?" And I said, "I got them from my boss." I said, "And now I don't know what to do." And that's when he had told me.
Okay. All right.
I-
So-
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. This is your opportunity to ask us questions.
Okay.
What do you want to know? What's on your mind, besides maybe your kid?
Am I going to jail forever for something that I didn't do?
Forever? No, you're not going to jail forever. You know, there are people who commit murders and don't go to jail forever. Now, I do want to let you know procedurally how this works. So you're going to appear before a Berea court judge.
Okay.
You're going to be assigned an attorney.
Okay.
Okay. Because of the seriousness of this offense, there's a good chance you're going to be assigned a bond that is very high.
Okay.
Okay, it's a high bond
Like
that you might not be able to afford.
what do we?
I don't. That's up to the judge. But generally speaking, you could waive something called a preliminary hearing. Your attorney will explain all that, and then we send you downtown. And now you're downtown Cleveland at the county jail.
Okay.
And this is a long weekend, so you're there till at least Tuesday before you get to see a judge.
Okay.
Okay. The one thing we're gonna try to do is, you know, between the court and your attorney and your help, if you want,
Yes.
see if we can help you stay here.
Okay.
And if you do stay here till Tuesday, we'll try to set up an appointment, like an opportunity for you to see your kid, okay, before the ball gets rolling. This is a very complicated case, and so we cannot just cut you loose. Only a court can cut you loose, okay? But because of this as being a felony, it's not up to the municipal court, it's up to the common pleas court, so a different court. And because it's a holiday weekend, you know, if we keep you in Strongsville, we'll try to set up a visitation with your kid, so you get to see your kid and things like that, okay? I can't make you any promises, this is kind of out of our realm. You're gonna have an attorney, he's gonna tell you, you know, the process, but everything you told us we're gonna take today, we're going to follow up on it. We're gonna work those parts.
Okay.
And corroborate what you told us.
Yes,
Corroboration means you tell me I did this, or I took him from Ryan, now we have to go and investigate that portion of it and see
Yes,
if
sir.
that stands on its own or not, okay?
Okay.
So now, it's the second phase of the investigation. If at any point you recall anything about those cards, just let us know.
Yes, sir.
You know, it will look
Yes.
good in your favor. But if you don't have anything, then we're gonna take you back so you can talk to the judge.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Do you have anything, Andy?
No, just be truthful.
Yes, sir. And
I know in your mind you don't feel you've done anything wrong, but some of this weight falls on you.
I know.
You gotta
I
help
know.
shift it off yourself.
I know, and that's why I had to. It ate me alive knowing that. I was so worried.
No,
You're right. You're right, and that's why I needed to come talk to you guys today.
The truth early would have kept you, you know, but all the lying really just kind of messed things up. So,
I was just
and now we
scared.
don't know.
This is my first time.
Right, I get it, but I get it. We will be taking you back to the back, so we're gonna have to put these back on you.
Okay.
For that. This is yours, so if
Okay.
you wanna fold it up, put it in your pocket to make it easier. Do you wanna take your food back with you? Do you want us to just throw it in the trash? What do you want?
You throw it away.
Okay, cause I don't want you getting sick. Nobody wants you getting sick.
I know.
So,
Like with bond, like am I able to call like a bail bondsman or something?
so that's what'll happen. So when they set the bond, they usually don't make you pay all of it. You can get a bail bondsman, pay
Okay.
a percentage of it.
Okay.
But if they make the bond, say 20% you owe, if they make the bond 100 grand, you're gonna owe 20 to get out. Do you know anybody who's gonna come give you 20 grand? See what I'm saying? So that's where the difficulty gets in here, okay? So, and I'm not gonna, cause you're not going far, so just try to make this easy for them.
Thank you.
Alright, so we're gonna walk out there. You walking back?
Yes.
Okay.